My homegirl, I have a homegirl named Kathy who like also was a helping hand with volume one, and she'll be a helping hand with volume three. And so she's always had a lot of like industry connections to anything and everything. Like she's the type of person that literally like you can make a movie about. Um and so she just has connections to everything in New York City, like literally anything. Like she's literally like the fucking, I don't know how to even like, she's like concierge, no, concierge, like to hotels, the fucking, but like for the whole city, for like the hood, like. And so she had a friend. We were out at a bar, and I used to do this all the time. Where like, we were at a bar, and I'd hear somebody like freestyling, and I'd just go over like a fucking little chihuahua. I was gonna say pit bull, but I wasn't built like a pit bull. So a little chihuahua, and I would just go over, fucking tear them apart, right? Like I'd be like, "Oh, you rapping? You think you could rap, fam? Well, I'm here to destroy your good time and battle you and embarrass you." And so I did that a lot back then. And one time doing that, um, uh, her friend that worked at MTV with Fight Club was there, and he saw me destroy a dude, and he was like, "Yo, you should come down to the offices." And so I went down to the offices with my sister Sarah Connor, who's on a lot of those songs. She was on the Internet Taliban song that you played. Um, and uh, and when I got there, they all knew her because Sarah, when we get her on the show, I was waiting for the right time to get her on the show, to coincide with like one of her events. But like Sarah's like one of my sisters that I talked about, her and Jean Grey on the first episode, and she uh she knew everybody. She just knows everybody, and so when we got there, she knew the people that worked at Fight Club, and like they were old friends, and like they immediately like they were like, "Yeah, we got you too." To me, like it was one of those like, "Oh yeah, 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 no, yeah, you're talented too." Like we didn't know that we, we didn't know that Sarah Connor was your sister. Sarah Connor wasn't her name back then, but um Lyric was her name back then, and they were just like taken aback, and so they were really trying to arrange at that point. Lady Luck had already lost to Remy Ma at Fight Club, and they were kind of like looking for the next opponent for Lady Luck, and they were kind of like trying to make the Sarah Connor Lady Luck battle happen, and excuse me, and they kept bringing me and Sarah in to do battles. And Sarah at that time had just gotten back to the dub, and she started linking up some of the dub homies too with Fight Club Connect. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think that's where KM's uh ill is here. He might be able to confirm or deny that. But it might have been through his own because that's how like wide the net was back then, right? But like she definitely did also bring some of the homies from the dub up there. And it was just this whole like movement that was happening at the time with battle rap, and then next thing you know, she's helping the homie New York City hip hop legend Pumpkinhead PH take over Grind Time New York. And around that time is when like my demos were already old. And what up, reality, peace and blessings. That's when we my demos were already getting a little old, and I had new songs coming out, and I had my first actual music videos and shit. And I was solo because like it was hard to get the guys to all like Hot had gotten married and became a dad, and so like I felt like I couldn't stop, so I kept on going. But I'm a group guy, man. At my heart and at my core, like I love. There's nothing like success is cool, but like not if I don't get to enjoy it with like the homies, So like I'm always like that's why when I got to know like Vice better and get to know about Vice better and like find out that like he like a lot of these things that I'm doing, like Vice did that on a bigger level for a bigger base of people for the whole entire city, and like I can empathize with like the energy and the vibes of what Vice would do, and so but like I've always kind of done that too, for my circle of friends and shit. And so like that's why you have things like La Mesa and the Squad, and just it's always like me trying to get like the team involved and get like other people involved.
Hmm. All right. So that was a big answer, which is fine.
It
That's what we
was.
do here. And then, as I
It is.
understand it, you work on the first next projects with your first music videos. So, what project is that for? Why did you decide this is the time to go into music video land?
Well, I mean, at the time it was just we finally got like YouTube and the ability to shoot. I had like a little bloggy camera, which was like 320p, like if that, like probably like 80p. It was just this like handheld thing that it's so funny that now that I look at it, it's like the DJI selfie thing. Like it's literally that, except it was just a little bit thicker.
Right.
But it literally was the same type of method, like a flip camera that flip swivels, and you would swivel it close, so like the camera part would head into the like stick part. Um, and we shot music videos on that because it was just that era of like YouTube existed and you could shoot your own music videos, and we were still, adamantly like trying to get ourselves out there to see if we couldn't get a deal. Like that was still the ideology, was like, oh, we got to get a deal, we got to get a deal,
So at
instead
this,
of like independent.
so you're basically looking for a deal. At this time, you're also participating with Grind Time, or is that?
Yeah, yep. It's just starting up to be with grind time. Yep.
So how did you get involved with them?
Through Sarah Connor, because she was with Pumpkinhead, and so luckily though, like luckily, I'm not like I'm privileged, but I'm not that privileged, right? So there was no nepotism involved in how I got involved in grind time, which a lot of the people that I battled and a lot of the guys like in other in other divisions in grind time thought that there was like, oh, he's not that great. The only reason he's there is because he's friends with PH and them. And it's like, I'm not friends with PH like that back then. Like I had just met him as like a modern, in that era. I had met him before, but like we weren't friends all those years. And I had to do a tryout. It's just that when I tried out, PH was really thoroughly impressed with my style. He felt like that my style was like, different and nobody else, and like back then in grind time, that was one of like the most important things, was to have like an original style and to like have like diversity in styles, so that it wasn't like you had a bunch of the same type of battle rappers over and over and over again, you know? And so I feel like I got a hair in my mouth. Sorry.
I love the stream of
Goddamn
consciousness.
hair. Goddamn hair. And so he really just liked what I, came to the table with. And he gave me an opportunity because he believed in me, and it was like that's like the greatness of PH, where today we're going to be memorializing Vice's legacy even more after this interview on the EO Zoom stream, right? And I think that it's great to like keep on like memorializing all these guys who, like, PH is gone now, but like these are men that, like, if it weren't for them um being how giving that they are with their selves as like humans, a lot of us wouldn't have had the opportunities that we had. And so PH just believed in me. And like at that time in my life, to have like somebody outside of my circle of friends believe in me and like give me opportunities to shine, like, bro, I can't even fucking. tell you like the level that that shit is. That's why like I strive to be that way myself, because like that's the shit that I really respect the most out of like life and those people. So
But it's also like
ph yeah,
it's also
sorry.
just like mad rewarding to kind of perpetuate that circle of giving and to, as you said
Hmm.
earlier, it's like, do you really want to get rich alone? Be by yourself in a room? Be like that like
Trash.
stereotype off The Simpsons, the guy staring at the tickers, being like nah. It's like you don't really want that. It's
Hmm.
like you want to be with the peoples and to have that team. And part of how that ends up happening in every successful situation is there are these cornerstone people that just dedicate themselves fully to
Yeah,
creating this, or maybe just to making sure that everyone stays on the right course, even if it's just
making
to
sure that
play
people
that.
have opportunities because they
Mm,
understand. I think that's what it is. I think that it is. I think that as artists, right? What I appreciate about them is that they all understood the dogged, uh, the dogged persistence of art, and how when you're a real artist, it won't leave you alone and it haunts you. And the desire to have other people um, experience, enjoy your art is like this, like just constant thing that just like nags at you, and not having the ability to maybe have that is what helps these people want to give that opportunity to others, because they saw how much trouble they had to go through to get that recognition for thing, and they want to give a platform to others so that maybe their journey is a little bit easier than their journey before them was.